What we have here is we have civil law, we have criminal law in the United States, but we also have UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. Peace, family. Since we're operating under Uniform Commercial Code, and part of the Uniform Commercial Code is the birth certificate, we'll look at this birth certificate. There's that birth certificate number. Then if you look at the back, it says certain things. Let's get a good look at it and see what it has to say. Okay, look for security. The watermark, and the paper showing official records. Yada yada yada. Vital records immediately above bottom of the border. Alright, and then they were talking about it's a red number. This red number here is supposed to be at the stock exchange. I haven't gone to the stock exchange myself to see if that's true or not, but most of the patriots say it's true. They're usually pretty much on the mark when they say something is going down the way it's going down. See the city register right there, and those documents here. Now we'll look at one from another state. You see the red number here, it's on the back. And this is a certificate live birth. Certificate of live birth. And there's a certificate number right there. And then right here you have some more seals of approval, some more information right here on the bottom of it, fee number, and whatever the case may be. Do not destroy, county file. When they take the footprint of the children, right, you can see they take the footprint right there, little baby foot, and then we'll go and we'll look at, it says the certificate of birth is a memento only. Certified copies of the official birth registration acceptable for legal purposes may be obtained from the vital statistics, Tacoma Pierce County Health Department. There's a little number there. Alright, now let's take a look at certificate of title, because it's under Department of Motor Vehicle, and I would think that void if altered, that this document, now the red numbers on this document are to the left, and this has to be under Uniform Commercial Code also. So we'll just take a little look right here. Another title, I noticed this one has F, and that one has Z. CIC is a group. They seem to be explaining this in a little more detail than I'm going to be able to do for you online, but I just want you to take a look at these. You can see that certificate title. Here's another one with the little foot. That foot's really small. here is an older one. See the numbers at the top in red. Alright. Down here in the corner, Department of Health. And it says the same little do not accept the transcript unless it bears the raised seal. And it's definitely raised. I felt it. Let's see what's on the back. Nothing on the back. And here's an even older one. Now it doesn't have the same numbers. Certificate number. There's nothing on the back of this one either. Let's see an older copy. Another one right here. Now these older ones, they have a little more in depth, but basically says the same thing. Just looks like they, anything on the back? No, nothing on the back. And I don't see any red numbers on this old stuff. Borough of the Bronx. Anyway, incidentally, you can go down to the county clerk office and look at anybody's birth certificate. Law is basically, supposedly, the law of the land. But it would look like to me that the court system uses criminal law on the original people more than they would use it on the Europeans. Not to say that they don't do it to them, but the rule of thumb for the original man is use criminal law on him, we'll use civil law on the Europeans. If you have a corporation, any type of business that is registered, whether you are high powered and you register in Delaware, or you could register your corporation in Nevada. But anyway, corporations, things that has anything to do with commerce, Federal Reserve notes, always fall under Uniform Commercial Code. That's a fact. Some people would say that Uniform Commercial Code is based on canon law. Catholicism's canon laws, the Vatican, things of that nature. If you do your research, you'll figure out that it's going to lead itself back to the Pope, Jesuit priests, and things of that nature. It seems to me that the Europeans have tricked us in the form of using maritime law on children that are in the womb, because they're using the scientific fact that you're in the womb in water. So since you're in the birth canal, in the womb, you are in water, they use maritime law on you while you're in the womb. When you come out of the womb, they consider you landing on land. So now they kind of use the matrix concept on you. The foundation to it is Europe, German, the Vatican, and then finally you get into France, and then England, and then the United States. I was doing the knowledge to Chambers in Commerce, CIC, and they were explaining that the birth certificate numbers, those little red numbers that I was showing you earlier, they're supposed to be worth some kind of money, or they're some kind of securities that is attached to them in Wall Street. I'm not absolutely sure if that's a fact or not, but those numbers are there. We saw those red numbers. And if we look at things like the World Trade Center, and I bring that up is because these are the same people who did the investigation on that and came up with the ideology that it was a false flag, and that the World War II setup with Pearl Harbor was. They allowed the Japanese to come in and do that so they could go into World War II. Not so much the fact that maybe they did or maybe they didn't have an inside job on it, but the idea is to let it happen so that we can justify going to war and that the American people will go for it. It also makes me think of the chemtrails, when they making you think they skywriting, and skywriting is just those chemtrails, and those chemicals are causing people with lung ailments such as hay fever, asthma, and things like that. It increases it. If you look at the history of the United States today, you'll say never has there been more diabetes, more people on dialysis, never has there been this many heart attacks, this much cancer. The children are developing at such early ages from the hormones and the injections and things of that nature that they're putting in the food. If you wasn't going to be a vegan or a vegetarian, you might want to go that route now because of the damage, the insecticides and the shots and the chemicals and the I would say not so much just chemicals, but the medication and that they're injecting in the animals to increase their speed of growth. And these hormones and these injections that the European is putting in the animals is affecting the people who are consuming the animals. They had this show one day I was watching, and it was showing how everyone over 21 who had eaten pork, beef, or chicken, every one of them died and left only the people from 21 under on this planet. And I don't think that that's going to take place now, but I'm just looking at everyone that eats animals seems to have hormone problems. Not so much as they're not able to perform or anything like that, but the hormonal problems is they're reaching puberty. Children are reaching puberty long before they should. You got children having breasts 8, 9 years old, having periods at 11 years old, 10 years old, 9 years old. Where do you think that is happening? Why? You think that the European doesn't have anything to do with that? I don't think so. You might want to check that out. But anyway, that's what makes me think of these things come to play or come into my mind or come on the table of discussion when we start studying the ideology behind the Uniform Commercial Code, driving licenses, IRS, 1930 through 1934, which would be the New World Order's foundation, the New Deal, FDR, Theodore Delano Roosevelt, War Powers Act, suspending of the Constitution, the different amendments, definitely Federal Reserve notes, IMF, international bankers, commerce. These things lead me right back to where? The 10%. With that, I'm going to say peace. Peace. Today's mathematics is a wisdom power. Or why? Why? The question must answer justify. Why should I study 120 lessons? Why do I teach my brethren? That's what each individual God asks the question. The design of 120, or one of the designs of 120, mathematics out by 12 Jews, and the reason the Father came to do what he did was so that black men would have an effect on black men. A black man, or original man, or Asiatic man. Original man speaks and builds with his brethren in mathematics out by 12 Jews 120 lessons, and it is especially effective when they don't know and understand 120, and you bring them into the knowledge of themselves and give them this light, elevating them and taking them to another level of understanding so that they can see and navigate through the European system of civil rights, civic law, criminal law, uniform commercial code, city rules, street rules, state rules, statutes, life in general. You may not even have any brush with the so-called Roman soldiers. Cipher powers. But nevertheless, you will need to navigate through the economics, housing, food, clothing, making sure that you are able to sustain your physical composition on this physical plane of existence. With that, I'm gonna say peace.
Soy afro-indo-latino descendiendo de los taínos, el divino perfección como el nombre de mi hijo. Mi destino está escrito en los libros de Ezequiel y conozco que yo vivo en cada aire que respiro. Oye chico, dale tiro a cualquiera, si te miro, me bautizo por el río cuando mi alma está listo. Yo soy como Camilo, sin fuego, cuando entró la guerra sin miedo, como Antonio Maceo.